All right, here we go. Mike Lee Kineric, O Raven, podcast number 3. Do you need sparring for self-defense training? All right, so I'm going to break it down, and then the answer will be at the end of the podcast on minute number 13. People that spar in training versus people who don't spar in training. Self-defense training versus martial arts training, and how they are different, yet they can benefit from each other. Okay, number 1. Okay, so you're going to kind of like get the answer as I talk about it. People who train for self-defense, tactical training, reality fighting, and they tell you, listen, we don't spar because the shit we do is so deadly that if we would spar, people would die. And we poke people in the eye, so we can't do that in sparring because people are going to lose their eyeballs, okay? People who have that mentality are, how you call that? They are counting that when they're going to get in a fight, they're going to poke somebody in the eye and the fight is over. Okay, number 1, to poke somebody in the eye is not that easy. If it was that easy, everybody would do it and the fights would be over like that. Okay, when you're in an altercation, when you're fighting for real, a real altercation, okay, there is stress. There is, all of a sudden, your fine motor skills are not as good as your gross motor skill, and a poke in the eye is a fine motor skill, and all of a sudden you find yourself, and you don't even realize it's happening, but you're doubting that skill at the moment, and you're not deploying it. Versus, a fucking punch in the face is a punch in the face. Okay, so here we go. People who don't spar in their training, they never test their skill. Sparring is a tester. Sparring is what we call in Israel, you must inspect what you expect. Sparring is an inspection, okay? It's an inspection of 3 elements that you will need when you defend yourself. Number 1, gas tank. People who don't spar don't know if they have a gas tank to fight. Okay, I've always been the guy who said a street fight should last anything between 5 seconds to 30 seconds. If you fist fight or you street fight in the street is longer than 30 seconds, you're in deep shit. Okay? Why? There is stress involved, there is adrenaline involved, and if you beyond that 30 seconds, you're also inviting multiple attackers, deployment of weapons, it's becoming a fucking clusterfuck. Okay? So a street fight should last anything between 3 seconds to 30 seconds. However, for you to be able to fight 30 seconds all out, and when I say all out, when you're stressed out, when the guy that's in front of you wants to take your fucking head off, all right, that 30 seconds will feel like a few minutes. So sparring, let's say you do rounds of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes sparring, you are basically building that gas tank for your altercation in a real fight. So number 1, you need the sparring for that gas tank, okay? And there's a lot of people who say, oh, but I'm in great shape. I can run half a marathon. I can run a marathon. I can do, the fuck you call when they go on the little bicycle with the fucking disco lights, like cycling fucking classes. I'm in a club. I go twice a week, and I'm in great shape, right? Fighting shape and being in running shape or cycling shape or even swimming shape is completely different. Okay, you need something that mimics that in a longer duration so you can fight effectively in that short duration. So that's number 1. So people who don't spar don't have a gauge or don't have a tester or don't have an inspection on the gas tank. 2, your ability to take punishment, your resiliency, your toughness. If you never spar and you never got hit, you don't know how you're going to react when you get hit. And when I say when you get hit, when you get fucking hit, okay? If the guy in a street fight, in an altercation, while you defending yourself, hit you hard, and you've never felt that kind of pain, impact, power, stress, oh my God, that fucking hurts, you don't know how you're going to react to it. So you want to have that, you want to desensitize yourself to that violence before that violence happens, not as it happens and find out, holy shit, I can't fucking handle it. Versus if you spar what happens when you spar, that resiliency grows, that dealing with the stress grows. Okay, and I know that because I've taught thousands of people how to spar. Thousands of people gone through my training. If it's kickboxing, if it used to be when I used to teach Taekwondo and the kids had to spar, if it's my adult through my kickboxing classes, I've taught thousands of people how to spar. And you can tell people who are not comfortable with sparring in the beginning, they're stressed out every time they come in. You can see how they gear up, how they put the gear. You can see there's like almost like a little an anxiety leading into the sparring. And then after a few rounds, when they're in an environment where it's safe to spar, they relax. Okay, you need that sense of desensitize yourself. I'm sorry, my English not always the greatest. To desensitize yourself to be able to take the punishment. Okay, so if you never spar, you don't know. In other words, you think you're tough, and you don't want to find you're not tough the minute you defend yourself. Number three, and this is where people who don't spar don't realize. You need to know if you can deploy your weapons. You need to know if you can deploy your techniques. You need to know if you can deploy your tactics. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face real hard, okay? I don't remember who said that, but somebody said, everybody's got a plan until, boom, you get punched in the face. Okay, so in other words, you need to find out before you defend yourself, can I truly throw that fucking jab cross? Okay, there's people who throw jab cross on pads, great. Jab cross on punching bags, great. And when they spar, they freeze because the stress gets the best out of them. Okay, so now let's talk about how do you develop the sparring not to break your confidence in self-defense. There's the other side of that sparring when people spar too much and they start to fear sparring because every time they fucking spar, it hurts. Okay. You need to be in an environment where the sparring is done properly. That's number one. You need to drill more than you spar. Drillers make killers. If you're my student, you've heard that many times. Drillers make killers. Drilling and sparring drills are more important than free sparring. Free sparring should be the inspection or the culmination of sparring drills. If you do sparring drills more than sparring, you're delivering, you're throwing. Your mind is learning, I got to throw the combo. I got to move around, set it up, throw it, and move back. Okay, that's the drills. If you only spar and you don't do drills or sparring drills, okay, what will happen is every time you spar, you're under inspection, and every time you spar, you're under the microscope of, I got to survive, I can't lose. There's the ego involved as well, okay? And you can't fucking relax. When you do sparring drills, you get to relax because it's a sparring drill. Okay, so here we go. Do you need sparring for self-defense? Yes. Does it need to be done in a specific way? Absolutely. It cannot be free sparring. A lot of people are very surprised to find out that in Thailand, they don't spar full contact before their fights. They almost like slap boxing. They barely fucking touch each other, and they go hard on the Thai pads. They don't spar all out, okay? And a lot of people don't realize, like, okay, how come those Thai fighters in Thailand are animals, savages in the ring, but they don't actually spar? Because they do drills on the Thai pads. They do drills on the bags. They do drills shadow boxing. They don't spar all out. So you need the sparring drills. The sparring drills is the key in sparring more than sparring. Okay, so if you're in a self-defense school, okay, if you take any self-defense program, Krav Maga, I don't know, like tactical training, whatever the fucking call it, and there is no sparring or sparring drills, it's a red light because you don't get that inspection of one, am I going to last? Am I going to be able to last that 30 seconds of an all-out fight because I'm going to be stressed out, it's going to take out of my gas tank, am I going to last? Okay, and if you can't last, I can't help you. Two, Am I tough enough to take a shot, a punch to the face, a shot to the body? Or is one shot going to break my will to fight back? Okay, I've always told people, when you fight somebody, you're not fighting them, you're fighting their will to fight back. As long as they're engaged in willing to hurt you back, they're still in the fight. Once you break their will, now you're starting to beat them. So, one, you need to find out that you have the gas tank. Two, you need to find out, can I take a shot and continue? Three, am I going to be able to deliver and unleash my techniques under stress? Because until I spar, I don't know. It's all like, okay, I'm learning this technique and you got this, and it happens a lot in America. I see it. It's almost like a disease. Self-defense. You go into a self-defense schools, and it happens a lot in Krav Maga schools, okay? And they train a lot for what will never happen, okay? 90% of the training, fucking gun disarms. Listen, motherfucker, you need to learn how to fist fight more than gun disarms, because the likelihood of somebody putting a gun to your fucking head versus you being at some sport event and the guy's fucking drunk and gets in his face and wants to get in a fist fight with you, that's a greater likelihood than somebody putting a gun at you. Because when somebody pulls a gun at you, it's a real bad situation legally wise. And if they did it, it's 1 in 1,000 versus you getting in an argument over some stupidity, road rage, you're the line at fucking Starbucks and the guy wants his fucking latte with fucking whipped cream, and you're taking too long because you don't know which fucking cappuccino, frappuccino you want, and he's getting in your face. And now that's more likely to happen than a gun disarm. So you got all these people in these fucking specialty self-defense programs learning special knife defenses, special knife fighting, special, but they don't learn to fucking fist fight. And self-defense is a fist fight. Okay, so you need sparring. Wherever you end up training, it's got to be done right, and it's got to be done with drills more than actual free sparring, especially if you're an adult over 40 years old, you're not an athlete, you need to preserve your body, so it has to be done right. So, do you need sparring for self-defense? Absolutely. If you're in a school that they don't do any sparring drills, any sparring preparation, any testing of the techniques, you're in the wrong school. Find yourself a different school. All right, guys. Podcast number 3. Do you need sparring? Absolutely, you need sparring, but it's got to be done right. Have a good one, guys.